that's on the phone on this?
No, we need to get that paired via Bluetooth.
It's connected right here.
No, that's Lewis's
Oh, that's his
headphones.
headphones.
Yeah, Lewis, we need your phone over Bluetooth.
Brilliant. Yeah, I know Brilliant. They have similar switch. Yeah. Right. Right.
Seriously, Twitch? Come on.
Just type in Apple.
Chatting weird vibe.
Well, I have to help that customer.
Yeah, like for me, like it did the swiping feature is okay, but we started adding a lot of stuff to that interface that was like swiping through quite a few things. All right, welcome. This is our first podcast with MacMedia here, and we have Rashid from ORRO on the phone. We're going to talk about some smart home technology and how this can simplify your digital lifestyle. So, Rashid, thanks for coming on.
No, thank you for having me. I'm excited to talk more about the product, and we haven't had a long relationship with you guys, so it's great for this to be somewhat of a kickoff to our relationship. So excited to be on.
No, we appreciate you taking the time in your day to spend with us. We've really enjoyed your product. I've been using it for a few weeks now, and I really enjoyed the ease of use and the simplicity of just the install. Do you want to talk about the product, your product, how it works and what it is?
Sure. So so just to kind of step back and really talk about the product in a nutshell, and then I'll talk about a little bit of the history of the product and take you through our journey and how we got to where we are now.
Perfect.
So, I don't want to complicate the product because when you start to explain all the things that it can do, it can get really complicated. But ORRO is a cutting-edge, wellness-focused smart lighting and what we also call smart living system, and it's designed to learn and adapt to a home. So it's pretty cool. ORRO combines the simplicity and scalability of a smart lighting solution with the power of a super advanced smart home solution. ORRO also automatically adapts to your presence and the natural light into a room, syncing with your circadian rhythm to help improve energy levels in the body and also improve your sleep cycle.
So for layman's terms, you have sensors.
Yeah, we have sense, and we actually have 6 sensors built into each one of the switches. Wow. So the sensors can detect everything from presence, both occupancy and vacancy, how much light is in the room. It also can detect sound, which is pretty cool. It has 2 mics built into it, so you can hear near and far sounds. So with the product, it can really hone in on the user's preferences for lighting, and also how long and how much they're in the room. Now, the product, just like your Nest thermostats, where Nest first came out, people were like, oh, wow, it's a thermostat that learns how we actually use our AC and heating. Well, our product does something similar, except for it's sensor-based versus touch-based. So where you would actually physically adjust or manually adjust your thermostat and it would automatically adapt based on that learning, our product is using the sensors to learn that same information and make micro adjustments.
Sure.
So it's pretty cool.
I've noticed when I've left the room and I've got it dialed in to that eco mode, and I'm seeing that leaf a lot on my my smart switch, not my thermostat. And I'm assuming that's saving me some money because it does seem to be turning it off when I'm leaving the room and when I'm going in there. I really like that feature quite a bit, and it seems to be dialing itself in over the last couple of weeks. I've noticed it's tending to move towards what I like as far as the lighting scenes and things like that.
So,
absolutely.
As you use the product more, does it learn based on your schedule, your system, the way you live? Does it learn based on all that?
Absolutely. Everyone has a schedule, whether it's going to work, kids going to school, the dog running in and out of a room. Also, the other thing you have to take into consideration is sunlight. So when you whether you want more sunlight in the room, so you open your blinds or you have automated blinds, sunlight is generally either pouring into the room or it's starting to you have less sunlight in the room. So based on that information, the lights will automatically make micro adjustments. Now, it takes about a week or so to really dial into someone's schedule, because after a while, our AR structured software will start to understand and figure out your patterns, and based on that, it'll make those adjustments. Now, the longer you live with the product, the more dialed in, just like Lewis was saying, the more dialed in the product will be. So it'll start to learn those a little bit more, and the product will get better and better and better. Now, that's the beauty of our product. It's designed so that it continuously improves based on what you're doing every single day.
Perfect. Now, you guys started back in 2014 with the Switch.
That is correct.
Is this the only product that you guys had pursued, or have you made other products?
No, this is the only product that we've launched so far. Wink, wink. we do have some product coming out in the future. I can't really talk about it publicly just yet, but I'll say this: it is designed to fully complement what we have right now. It's probably what you guys would think or expect from the brand or from the line, but it's a full complement of what we are. Of the direction that we're headed as a company, and really allows, no matter the cost of the job, allows for you to give a true whole home lighting solution.
Okay, and as far as the lighting itself, I've also noticed that when it starts to learn some of your trends as far as what you're doing, it seems to adjust the lighting hue as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's really, even though it's a switch, because at the end of the day it is a switch. Even though it's a switch, it is trying to adjust the hue of the light, the temperature, the dimming levels. All of those things are taken into account, and all of those things is really designed so that it syncs to your circadian rhythm. Now, we've seen studies out there where circadian rhythm has positive effects on things like autism, sleep patterns, energy levels, all of these things. So we understand, and I'm sure you've probably seen some of these studies as well, Lewis, where there are just so many studies where people are seeing benefits just positively from health purposes from the way lighting and the effect of that lighting has on your body.
Sure, there's
at the end of the day,
there's a lot of people that have light sensitivity issues.
Absolutely. And even the ones who don't necessarily consider themselves to have light sensitivity issues, we all know that darkness has an effect on your mood. We all know that sunlight has an effect on your energy level. So those things, we know that when you wake up in the morning and you open the blinds, or you walk outside and you get a nice dash of sunlight, you get a nice bright smile on your face.
So you can get some additional vitamin D.
And you get some additional vitamin D, exactly. So, unfortunately, lighting systems aren't really designed to take that into account until now. So our product is designed to take that into account. And we know that if we give you more sunlight and less artificial light, it's going to have a positive effect on your body. And we know that if we dim the lights at a certain time of day, that it's going to have increase the amount of melatonin in your body, and it's going to help you roll into your sleep a little bit better and give you a more restful night. So
it sounds like this light switch is kind of an all-in-one solution.
It better be, right? I think everything should be an all-in-one solution nowadays. I think that the idea of having a single point or a single solution is something of the past, or a thing of the past. I think that a single point solution for all of your devices is really what customers are looking for.
And one thing I noticed about this is because it's a digital interface, is it gives you that flexibility and the ability to make it do virtually anything you want it to do.
Absolutely.
So with Alexa having voice enabled, with Google Assistant or Siri, just all those voice features built into it alone.
Yeah. So one thing that we haven't talked about, I spent a lot of time talking about the light features because that's how our company was founded. It was founded on the principle of how do we create what's called adaptive smart lighting and a human-centric based lighting system. But one of the really cool things that our company pivoted to a few years back was they knew that since we had a digital LED screen, that we could change and add features and functions to the actual product itself. And since we have a computer built into every light switch, we also can, program in features and functions where the switch can control it over Wi-Fi. So now our system is not only a smart lighting or a smart adaptive lighting system, but it also is a fully functioning smart home system as well. So just like you said, Louis, you have the ability to control things like your door lock, your doorbell is integrated. voice control is built in with Alexa. We also have the ability to control the system with Google Voice. We have your Nest thermostat that you can control directly through the swipe switch by swiping to the left. You have your door locks that you can unlock. You also have Sonos, which is pretty cool. I know that's very important to you guys at MacMedia.
Yeah, we're a Sonos reseller and a Nest reseller, Ring. So a majority of the products that you support, we sell.
Beautiful.
So Hue lights, I know you can integrate Hue lights with that system. I've done it at home. I've integrated Samsung Smart Things with it. The Nest thermostat. I think I did my Ring doorbell through Smart Things and integrated that way.
Yep.
So there are a lot of ways to tie all these gadgets that I had together, and I think that was one of the great points of the product was that I could tie all my products together in one place.
Well, yeah. Not only can you tie all of your devices into one place, but it also gives you the flexibility of use. So now I can walk over to my wall and I can do things like voice control, or I can turn on my thermostat, or I can, control my lighting, or I can do it from my app and be able to control that. Another really cool feature and probably one of our most underrated features, but I think I'm trying to, as the head of sales, I'm trying to put it more to the forefront, is the ability when you have more than one of our switches in a home, you can do room-to-room audio intercom.
Oh,
you
yeah.
can do audio-based intercom. You have the ability to do it all-page mode where you can talk to every single switch at the same time. So it's a really, really cool feature. And I think that's one of the powers of having a smart switch that has not only microphones but also speakers built into them.
Yeah, and I noticed that you can also enable or disable those features that you want on that switch. So if you have multiple switches, and a lot of your clients probably do for that intercom feature alone, but if you have multiple switches, you can decide what you'd want in that room. So if I want to have access to certain Hue lights, or I don't want access to my Nest thermostat, but I would want to have access to my Sonos music, you can kind of dial it in the way you want to.
Of course. And for me, I'll give you an example of how I use my system at home. I have young kids, and I don't necessarily need my doorbell to ring, or maybe show up, which is great, but ring, especially loudly, in my the nursery, I don't need it. It took me a while to get my 5-month-old kid down, and when my son wakes up, he raises hell.
So I guess you don't want intercom going to your bathroom, right?
I actually don't have a problem with it. Video intercom would be a problem. Voice intercom, I have no problem with it. That's
okay.
Perfectly fine. I think especially for my kids, if I can, okay, you've been in the shower for 35 minutes, it's time to get out. I think that's
I see it now.
Well, and there are a lot of people that don't necessarily want to use the switch physically. They want to use those voice commands. But I've noticed there are times where it's just easier to have that switch right there. I want to turn the volume up quickly on my Sonos music, or pause it for a second. And I don't want to necessarily say that long command that I have to do in order to have Alexa turn it off.
Exactly. And not everyone knows the voice cues that it takes to make something work. So it's easy for me to walk over to my switch and pause my Sonos, or unlock the door, or do the intercom.
Yeah,
it may be a little bit more difficult for me to, say the right voice cue in order to activate something, especially if you don't know the name of the room or the name of the device that you're controlling. It just gets a little complicated.
Yeah, my issue with that is when you have people over, you have the grandparents over, or the relatives over, and you need to explain to them, now, okay, what are our voice commands for our house?
Yeah, you almost need to stick cue cards on the wall. Like, I'm going to stick a cue card, and here's a list of all the voice commands in order to turn on the music.
Yeah, it's just a lot easier to go, there's a switch right there on the wall. It has everything that you need. Just go over there.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of some of the changes we've recently made. Now we have a fully integrated app that does the same thing. So now now the app has all those same features built into it as well. And we're going to continue to expand the app because the app, we think an app is a powerful medium, but it shouldn't be the only way that you interact with your system, in our opinion. We also think that having a built-in solution, especially for builders who are touting built-in smart homes, I mean, you can't really say, okay, I have a built-in smart home if the only way you can control it is through an app. Because when you leave the house, that built-in feature is long gone in certain cases. So having a built-in solution where I can walk over to the wall and always have access and control over my system is a great way of marketing a home or enhancing the capabilities of a house.
And the nice thing, too, is you can mix and match. You can use your switch with other switches as well. And I've integrated a few GE smart switches today when we were setting up the ORRO switch at our MacMedia Peoria location. And we've set that up to Samsung Smart Things. And we're still able to access that from your switch as well.
Yeah, I think that's one of the more underrated features of our product is the ability to control not only utilizing our switch as a load controller, but also being able to connect other smart dimmer switches like Lutron, Caseta, Leviton, GE, those type of switches to our product as well. So in certain cases, those switches are going to be a little bit cheaper than our switches. So being able to, again, complete the cycle and give you a whole home solution, that gives you that opportunity as well.
For people just jumping into the smart home scene, what would you recommend for a setup for them to get them started? What's something that you would, how would you push them to want to start off with the smart switch? Like what, or I guess what are some of the most common complaints you hear or pushbacks from people trying to get into smart switches?
I think that's the biggest complaint that I hear. I'll start there. The biggest complaint that I hear is people thinking smart home isn't smart enough. You know, you hear like, I have these lofty dreams, and I just watched a recent episode of the Jetsons, so I have these lofty dreams in terms of what I wanted to do, and then they realize like, oh, I can't do any of that. So, or in order for me to do it, I have to have an app with me, or I have to have a dedicated iPad, or I have to have something in order for me to actually interface with my system. And an example of that is, we were at a builder show a couple weeks ago, and the first thing one of the builders asked me was, is it simple enough for my grandmother to use it? And my rebuttal to him was, well, imagine your grandmother walking into a room, getting perfect lighting because she's previously used the room without her having to touch the light switch. That's what our product is designed to do. It's designed to give you what you're looking for with very low to no touch at all. So that's, I think that's the future. As we continue to see what we call smart living progress. And the difference between, from our perspective, smart living and smart home is we think smart home is a very high-touch, reaction-based system. And, so if you want something to happen, you either press a button, you pull out the app, and you control it that way, or you do a voice command. Now, unfortunately, with those smart home systems in that lane, if you don't touch it, if you don't do anything, nothing happens. Now, with a smart living system is designed to adapt and learn to the user. So even when you're not touching buttons or interacting with the system, it still understands what your preferences are, and it'll make those adjustments to the home or to the room on your behalf. So we saw it with Nest Thermostat, who really started this whole thing. And now we're starting to see it with more and more technologies. And I think we're doing that with lighting in a way that it's never been done before.
This might shock you. Believe it or not, there is no smart coffee pot out there at all. They do not exist. So maybe that's where you guys got to jump, right?
No smart coffee pot. Yeah, exactly. Well, it realized that I make coffee every morning at 7 o'clock, so it started making coffee on its own. That would be awesome.
Back in the 80s, my dad had a coffee pot that you'd set a timer on.
Yeah.
And he'd walk downstairs at 7 o'clock in the morning, and his coffee was there.
That's the smartest you can get.
That's about it. Yeah, and honestly, that's how most smart products work.
That's exactly how I feel.
Or you set a timer, and but unfortunately, if you didn't set that timer, if you didn't press that button, nothing happens. And I think we're starting to see a change in that with technology like like ours and other companies where it's gonna start being a little bit more predictive and based on not only your patterns but how you live on a day-to-day basis. I mean, we've heard people like Mark Cuban, for instance. Mark Cuban, the technology guy who now owns the Dallas Mavericks. He's investing a lot in sensor-based technology and essentially, instead of being high buttons or highly reactive based systems, it's really about predictive analytics and really doing things on its own. So I think a great thing about our product is I think we're already there.
I notice when you get past that smart home phase where it's the initial setup and then you start getting into the scenes and designing scenes for your home, that's when it really starts to automate your digital lifestyle.
Yeah, I think there has to be a balance between. I think there has to be a balance.
Well, because you have all these digital elements, and they're all communicating together instead of working independently. And that's been the problem in the past: is you download a smart app, and you've got a smart app for this device, you've got a smart app for this other device. What you guys have done is you've gone and developed that app that kind of houses those other applications in it.
Yeah, I think that without scenes, there's going to be a huge gap in controlling other devices. And the reality is when you think of smart home devices, you want a single touch point that's going to control everything. So I think scenes allow you to do that. And we've developed a way for you to do lighting scenes on our product where it automatically activates lighting scenes, or you press a button and it automatically does what you want to do from a whole home lighting perspective and not just a single room. But we're also going to be introducing whole home scenes where it not only controls your lights but also your thermostat and your door lock. So you can not only can you press a button, but you can either set it to or set a scene to a timer or what have you, and it automatically activates.
Sure, and I've been doing a little of that with the IFTT applets and whatnot, and you can kind of do that, but it's not as easy, obviously.
Yeah, it takes an integrator to really get in there and delve deep in it, and guys who are as confident as you are, Lewis, can get in there and really write any script that you want. And you see it with some of the other systems like Control4 and URC and all those other guys, where you can write a script, a mile long, and it'll do whatever you want. I think the element that's missing there is just what happens when you want something else.
Well, and it's also just
get to that programming.
Yeah, and it's just a matter of just simplifying it and just making it easier for people to create those scenes. Because I think in people's minds, they have an idea of what they want to do. It's just a matter of having the hardware do it for you and programming it.
Absolutely, and I think also there's an element of I want it to work a certain way until I no longer want it to work that way anymore. So you have to be prepared to adjust a system or have a system that's adaptable in that way, or you need to empower the homeowner and have them do it themselves, which is a great idea as well.
Yeah,
I think that more dealers are starting to lean in that direction.
And that's one thing we'd like to do during the installation process is kind of show them the ins and outs of the product and also show them the little nuances, because obviously there are little quirks here and there with different products, and just to show them how to get around those things.
Yeah, that's a beautiful idea. I think it's so important that everyone, that you unlock a little bit of freedom when it comes to smart home. I think, we've spent the last 10 plus years trying to figure out how we can lock down the system a little bit more and only grant certain people access to it, where in reality, the more freedom the homeowner has with it, the more likely they are to use it. And honestly, they're going to essentially buy more.
Now, you guys have an API for ORRO?
We do. So recently we launched an API where other developers or manufacturers can integrate their product with ours. It has to be requested. So if you want to see your product integrate with ours, you just go to getorro.com/pro and just reach out to us and we'd be happy to discuss a potential integration.
Great. That's always good to have a open end. Just give people the flexibility of tinkering around a little bit. Of course, not full access.
Not full. It's not going to be full access. We obviously limit access to certain things, but it definitely gives you the ability to sync our lighting capabilities with whatever product out there. And we're starting to see that come in handy a lot more with some of the integrations that we're going to launch. And then with the ones that we really want to get down and dirty with, we just create a formal relationship and we start to have those integrations. Over the last few months, we've seen some of those integrations take place and they've really been impactful for us as a company. We recently launched the Google integration where we do both Google Nest and the Google Hello Doorbell. We recently launched the ability to do built-in voice control through Alexa directly from the switch, so you don't need a separate speaker or a device to do that.
Yeah, I was able to get rid of my Dot.
Exactly. So now we've unlocked those cool capabilities. Even looking towards the future, there's some other things that we think are going to be very impactful or useful with adaptive smart lighting. Imagine a world where your solar system adapts to your smart lighting system or vice versa. So we're about to roll out some integrations with solar companies where your solar inverter is able to, or your smart switches are able to read the amount of energy your solar inverter was able to produce. And based on that information, it'll be able to adjust your lights automatically or do load shedding, which is super important for homes who run on solar batteries and solar energy. So we're going to do something really cool there. Shade integration. We're going to imagine, based on how much sunlight you get or how hot the room gets, maybe you want your shades to drop down a little bit. So we're going to launch some more in-depth shade integration. We can already integrate with Lutron shades now, but being able to really advance that feature and those technologies, I think, are super important. And and then there are some other really advanced smart home systems that need better lighting, like Control4, for instance. So we're going to launch an integration with those guys in the next few weeks, which we're excited about.
That's some good stuff. I mean, I'm excited to see where your product goes. It's so far I've been very, very happy with it. I've actually reached out a few times and I've gotten email responses quickly from your tech support folks. So overall, it's been a great experience. I really appreciate the ease of use, and I really appreciate you having you spending the time to come on our show today and just talking about the product with us. We really appreciate it.
No, thank you. And we love to support our integrators. It's another reason why we created the program we created. One of the features that I love with our integrators that they're able to pass along to the homeowners and the end users is a 2-year warranty. So that was created specifically for integrators so that they can give their customers a little bit more value as they work together. So, keep supporting your integrators, guys.
Well, we've been integrating for well over 20 years now. So, we definitely like to support the small guys. We're also an Apple authorized reseller, so we sell and integrate. But we love working with technology. We love working with the smart home stuff, and we really love working with your product. And we can't wait to install it at a large mansion somewhere.
Well, beautiful. Well, we're here, so we're gonna fully support you guys. As you guys continue to expand, as we continue to expand the capabilities of the product, and you guys see more and more jobs that we would be interested in, we're gonna be there. So thank you guys
awesome.
so much.
Well, it's just it's just a matter of showcasing, and I think it's kind of it's one of those products that I think when people see it on the wall, it's almost gonna sell itself. So we really appreciate you spending the time with us today to speak about the product, and hopefully we can have you on again. And maybe we can have some of your other integrators on there as well. If you do work with any solar companies that might want to reach out to us, we'd definitely be interested in talking, because that would be a good conversation.
Yeah, let's set something up. We have a lot of solar guys who are already using the product. We have some solar distribution relationships that we're working on as well. So yeah,
Excellent.
We'd be happy to.
Well, you can get more information on ORRO on MacMediaInc.com. If you go into our smart home area, and if you have any questions on the product, you can always come by any of our retail stores and get a live demo, or give us a call at one of our stores. But if you have any questions at all, feel free to give us a call or hit us up on www.macmediainc.com.
Thank you guys for watching. You'll be able to view a full replay on our YouTube, MacMedia Inc. on YouTube. And, of course, you can check us out on Apple Podcasts as well. We'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. See you guys.